Hey everyone, this is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks. I'd like to take you through a few charts that have worked out very well for us, why they were picked maybe, how you could have made some money in them, and just in general answer some questions. I am doing this live in our trading room, so I may get some questions from some of our subscribers, and I will answer those questions as we go as well. You are currently looking at my desktop. This is my chart that I use, and I may flip through different charts here. You'll see some different ones. And then this is a scanner I use over here. So let's get started. Okay, as we look at these 8 charts, and I may flip from one chart to another chart depending on what I want to see in the chart, you know, whether it be one moving average or multiple moving average. I encourage you guys to please ask questions about it, about anything you see here, and I will do my very best to answer these questions. So I've got about 8 charts. This should run us right up to the time Ed comes on. Hi Ed, how you doing? And hopefully I'll be done on time. So let's start with this chart right here, and this IMGN. Now, because of where it is here in the chart pattern, and this arrow is where it was a trade idea posted for the members, or it was a featured trade idea on that particular day. And here's a chart that in a straight line from about here to its highest peak right now is up 164%. Now, I don't think for any second that somebody's going to collect all 164%, not as swing traders. So what we want to do is look at these charts and look how they swing that high, where we could maybe get in them, where we could get part of the money from that swing. And so like I say, we'll just take a look at that. One of the things that I do when I look for charts, one of my main criteria that I look for is I want that chart to have the ability to, wherever it's a trade idea, to go higher. Not that. I'm not looking for the little bit of a we're done. I'm looking for that chart to go higher. Now, as we know, all charts that go higher also come with pullbacks. That's what happens. That's what happens when charts move higher. You have to have these pullbacks. So it's not that, it's not that I'm looking at this as a buy and then it's going to move up 160%. I look at this as a buy. This chart has potential to move a great deal higher. Now, I want to trade my style of trading somewhere in here. Now, maybe it's here up. Maybe it's wait till we pull back and maybe I should change the color here. Trade this right here. Let it consolidate. Let it pull back. Maybe it's that swing right there. Maybe it's this swing right here. We all have different styles of trading. We all have different places we like to enter. Do we like to enter at, the bottom of the swing, middle of the swing, breakout of the swing? Any one of those places is correct. Truthfully, the one that makes the most sense to you is the best one. Now, that brings up a question, because obviously it makes more sense to buy it here so you could sell it high, but that may not be the best place for you. And what I always tell everyone is the one you can explain the best is the best one for you. So doesn't that make sense that where's the best entry for this swing? Obviously right here. Obviously. But if you can't explain everything about this chart at this level, the good and the bad, there is evil there as well, then that might not be the best place. On the other hand, you might be the kind of person that says, hey, you can come in here and then you can explain absolutely how a breakout and then a pullback comes in, and as long as that pullback stays within that support line, we could be looking for something higher. See, somebody that explains that, but if they just go, well, I don't know, well, maybe here, maybe, that's a slam dunk. This is the trade for you, not this trade. So it's the trade that you can explain the best, because that's usually the trade you're going to make the most money in. So in this case, this was one of our rounded bottom breakout chart patterns. And as I look at the chart, we can come over here to a 2-day. And I look at that 2-day, and you see where the 200 period moving average is? That's one of the things I look for. I might look at that 3-day. Do I see that move in there? Do I see an overall chart pattern developing? For instance, as this was a trade idea, if we move this down and we start rounding this up, what's that half of? That's half of a cup, isn't it? So right at that point there, and that's something, rounded bottom breakout many times tends to be half of a cup. And where would this cup want to go to? Right up there. Right there. That's where it kind of started. There's the cup. That means the handle could be produced pretty much in anywhere this level up here. So, like I said, one of the things I look for, it's a major criteria of mine, is not just the swing trade, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 10 days, but it's also the overall potential of the trade. So here's IMGN. It's moved 164% from the time it was on the watch list. And I ask you now, could you have found a place to buy the chart? In other words, maybe you could have bought it in here. Maybe you could have bought it on this breakout. Maybe you could have made money on that swing. Maybe you could have made money on that whole swing right here. Maybe you could have bought on this breakout, lived with it because it came down to support, and maybe you're still in it. Maybe now you're coming up here and you're putting a support line in, and you're just going to calmly wait till it pulls back. So there's one trade. Here's another one. Here is CC. This was, what was this, January 11th. Now, here's a chart that has been trading up, and it pulled back right to the 50 and the 34 EMA, and then it put in a little chart pattern here and then started to move up. So all this was a minor correction, and then I was looking for it to go higher, and sure enough it has. From this point here, we've run up to the very top up here, pretty close, 85%. So the question is simple. In that 85% run, or from January to early May here, mid-May, could you have made some swings in this? Could you have made some trades? Could you even still be holding it? In this case, I could see this one as you bought it, you're still holding it. And you can see here, we started with a low, high, higher low, bullish engulf, big rally. Time to start thinking about it. Could have bought it there. There's a nice little pullback, little flag pullback, maybe just sideways rectangle pullback. Could have been bought in this area. It could have been bought, let me get my line up here a little bit. Make that blue. We have a breakout here. That could have been bought on the breakout. There's another rally in here. There's your pullback. You draw that line in there. It could have been bought on the breakout. More than likely on the gap, that would have been a time to close it because gaps are gifts. no problem. You close that trade out, you go to the bank, you save yourself tons of money, and you wait to get back in it. So here it just battles around, and right there, it breaks out, it rallies up, it pulls back. You might or might not have gotten out there. Depends exactly where you put your stop in. Either way you look at it, you could have gotten back into the chart here, broke out again, and can you see how there's several places you could have gotten into it? You just have to follow those charts. One thing that I try to share with people, the importance of keeping a watch list. If you are forever looking for trades for tomorrow, you'll probably never be able to trade this type of pattern or this type of run. And that's simply because you're not following a watch list. You are looking strictly for tomorrow and not down the road. Sorry, it's kind of a bad way to put it, but it is truly that way. Hey, I want to stop just for a second because there is a chart here I want to take a look at. This AAOI, this thing is killing it. And come on, chart. There we are. We want to keep an eye on this chart. We're up, we've pulled back, we've broken out now, and here we are pulling back with a little bullish engulf in there. So we might want to keep an eye on this chart. You can see 3-day chart, we've got a nice J-hook breakout here, so keep an eye on that one. All right, back to our job at hand here. Here's one, EXTR. And this is another one that has been trending up. And here we are, blow this up a little bit. Here we rallied up, we pulled back, and that was the breakout. So that's time to start buying it. Well, actually the breakout was right here. So the next day is the trade idea day. Could have been bought on this day, any one of these days in here. It popped up. It pulled back. Once again, it could be bought on any one of these days. It's still above our trend line. And then up it goes. Now we have a nice little T-line run. So maybe we'll just say right there, kind of, maybe you bought it here, maybe you bought it here. Either way, we're somewhere around the $5.50 mark. And here's a run for you. 13, 14, 15% maybe, 16%. So there's one swing. Maybe you're out. It pulls back. Maybe you're a gutsy kind of person, and you see this pullback. I know a lot of people that would have bought it there, and boom, gaps are gifts. Maybe you didn't buy it, and here it pulls back. This could have been another buy area. In fact, this is Doug will be talking about this tonight. Pop out of the box. That's a little pop out of the box chart pattern. And that gapped up. Let's be done with these gaps. Now we're pulling back, but look how this pullback is well above any kind of support here. And we've got these candles that move down, 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 sideways, sideways, up, 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 up. Buying, any kind of buying in here. And that would put you up, I don't know, what are we talking about here? Well, we better go to here first. There's 11%, little hammer. Maybe you bought the early morning breakout here, and you're up another 20% on this trade. So let's go from here, go to that high. What was that? 70-some percent, 76%. The point is, in this trade, you could have pulled out enough pieces in the middle that would have made you very happy for some very nice double-digit trades. Here's one more. ALNY. It was a trade idea here on February 27th. Pulled back. So this doji here, well, maybe I better be sure of that. Nope. It was on this big candle. That means what that means is I was looking at it the night before, right here, and it was pre-market when I put out all the trade ideas. So it could have been, this could have been bought right in this area, right there. And up, whoops, let's do it this way. Up we go. You could have sold that for 16% or so because we always sell at the 200 when we're in a rounded bottom breakout. If you didn't, you allowed it to pull back, which the pullback didn't break anything. Did not break a thing. And then we popped right up. That could have been a 30, 20, we'll call it a 25% trade. Now that it's pulled back, we started running along the 50 and the 34 here. And you see how it came up and then moved sideways? This is another one of those pop out of the boxes Doug's going to be talking about tonight. Pop out of the box, boom, that could have been bought, and you would still be in it even today. And that is another 35, 37% right there. The magic of keeping a watch list is humongous, absolutely humongous. AKRX, featured trade idea here. It pulls back, started to show up here, a nice little chart pattern, could have been bought on the breakout. Let's just take that breakout right there, and there's your 29, 30%. One more. This is a recent one, VRX. VRX has been in a nice little downtrend. This is one of our pinball setups. And we pop up right here. This would have been a good pinball setup here, which that's not where we started looking at it. Where I started looking at it was right here. 5-2. Oh, nope, right here. Right here on this candle is when it was posted in the members trade idea. So it was a pinball setup because it was that night that I found it. We posted it as a trade idea here and consolidated a little bit, and look where this thing is right now. 39% where it is currently, so 40% up here at the highs by hanging with this chart. One more here, actually three more. Jazz. Buddy, 1 second, and I'll show you what the pinball is, okay? Here's Jazz. This was when it became a rounded bottom breakout, and this was when it was posted as a members trade idea. Now, this would have been one trade right up here. That would have been it right there. And there's a 16% trade. Even with this pullback, nothing about that pullback said to get out. There's a 16% trade. You relax, you keep it on your watch list, nothing's going on, don't chase it, don't stare at it. Moves down, you have a couple of triggers on it, you look at your list every night, you notice that it's putting some bottoming candles in, dojis on around the dotted deuce. This is our lower 200 period moving average. And you notice that, and then all of a sudden one day you notice, oh my, a bullish engulf. I better get back in that. So you get back in on the engulf, or typically what we look for, there we go. Oops, went too far. Typically what we look for is an inside day. There's your bullish engulf. So when it came inside on this day here, when it came inside, that's a buy. If that's the case, you bought it. Bada boom, bada bang, all the way up to this top. There's 13%. Maybe you're still in it. Yeah, maybe you're still in it. Maybe not. I wouldn't be in it. You know, this would have taken me out. So let's shrink this back up so you can see the whole thing now. There we go. There we are. So that would have certainly taken me out, but you would have been up a bucket of money when it took you up out on this. As it started moving up, you know, I'm not sure that I could spot a lot of entries up here, to be honest with you. You know, I would not have entered here at all. Wouldn't have got the gap. I could see an entry here, but you would have been stopped out right there. You don't know it's going to gap, so you never would be in it. So I'm thinking here this trade really was from here to here. So trade from here to here, and then from here to here. So there's 17%, and there's 12%. So there's two trades, one 17, one 12%. I couldn't make a good trade out of that. WUBA. WUBA, you know, I just got out of part of, or the last piece of my WUBA this week, and we'll see what this is. Now, WUBA, we gapped up, or we ran up, and then WUBA is a trade idea here, and it pulls back a little bit, and then from there, it just starts going. So, I mean, maybe you bought it here. I could certainly say I would have bought it there. That may or may not have stopped you out. All depends on your trading rules. But then right there, if you were stopped out, that would have put it back in the game. And you would have gotten that, collected that money from here up to this area, which is 13%. I don't think I would be, I mean, if I stayed in it, okay, maybe, but I don't know that there's any big buys in here at all. Right there would have been the clue or the breakout. So buy here or buy here. Well, let's just split the middle right there. And that would have been a nice trade up here for about 17%. By the way, I'm going to go to this chart. There's that pop out of the box there that Doug will be talking about tonight. So what I did is I just went through a few charts. And like I say, this is being recorded. And so thanks for your participation. Oh, and I want to answer, what is the pinball setup? So let's go to this VRX. Pinball setup is when a stock has been in a total downtrend. I mean, just beat down to no end. And then it rallies up over the T-line. It's a buy at the T-line, and our sell trigger, you can sell all of it. Highly recommend you sell at least half of it at the 34 EMA. The big trick here is you've got to have at least 10% between the T-line, your entry, and the 34. So that's all that is. It's a way to buy off the bottom without buying off the very bottom. Because when it moves up over the T-line, then it actually starts a little bit of a trend there, and that's what I'm watching for. Okay. Hey, thanks a lot, you guys, for letting me do this, and I appreciate it. I'll be back in 1 second. Alrighty. I want to thank everybody for watching this. I hope it was very helpful. Today is May 18th, 2017. There are no charts that I looked at today that I would put on a list to buy. Please remember that money is made within management of a trade, not the entry and not the target. It's all about management. Hit and run candlesticks, that's something we focus on, and we'd love to have you over here. Thank you very much.